Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Yeah, okay, let's go to our ugly, Eric. Give me your ugly for week 7.
San Francisco 49er and the injury bug. I feel so bad when I seen that Fred Warner went down that game. Of course, being a Bucks fan, I'm watching every play of that game. I seen Fred Warner go down, and there's a lot of respect in the league for that guy. He's been a great player forever, and that was a very severe injury. But some people are wondering if it's career ending because he's not as young as he used to be. I don't think it will be quite that bad. I hope not for his sake, but that was so deflating. But you got injuries to now Fred Warner, Joey Bosa, Brock Purdy, and George Kittle. And you have more injuries than that. I'm well aware there's a lot more injuries on the Niners. I just don't know the players as well. But those are four really big pieces. Mac Jones has been playing well for them. Don't get me wrong, but even he's hobbled up. Like he got beat up last week. I'm not talking about against the Bucks. Well, he got beat up there too, but against the Rams, he got beat up. And so it's like every year it seems like the 49ers deal with this. They look like a good team. They look like they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC. And then every year they wind up with a ton of injuries. I don't know why it's that way. I feel really bad. I laughed a little bit when somebody said it's this year it's because Christian McCaffrey's performing some voodoo to stay healthy, but it requires all these other 49ers to get injured. Because he's been looking great. But I feel so bad for the Niners and Niners fans because your team is still 4-2 with all these injuries is encouraging, but it's very discouraging too because it's like, how long can this keep happening?
Yeah, I agree with you, and it just stinks because, like, I mean, we've been talking about, but injuries seem to be riddled throughout the NFL. And like, so I was thinking about doing like eventually I want to do like, hey, make a trade, teams that need to make a trade to be like, take that next step. And obviously the 49ers are kind of on my like short list, but it's getting to the point where they're dealing with so many different injuries that's like, would one move actually make them a contender, or will it kind of just level off all the injuries? So like, for example, there was a rumor that they might be interested in Trey Hendrickson. It's like, well, okay, so you replace Bosa, that's great, but now you lost Warner. All these other injuries are going on. Is it really going to make you take that next step? I just don't. I think it's getting beyond the point of no return. Kind of reminds me of the Lions defense last year when they had 13 guys on IR. It's like, yeah, it's going to catch up to them. I think that's where the 49ers are at.
And it's so sad to see because it's completely outside of their control. They can't do anything about it.
Oh,
So
yeah, agreed. Okay, my ugly is the Dolphins. As a Dolphin fan, I just got so right now they're 1-5. Um, they could actually be 5-1. They really should be 3-3. Just to set up the problem here. So they in the fourth quarter in the last in four of their losses, okay? They were up 24-20 against the Panthers with a little over 3 minutes ago on a 4th and 5. The Panthers converted. The Panthers ended up winning the game. Fourth quarter, 10 minutes to go. They were tied with the Bills when they got roughing the punter call by Zach Sleeter. Let me think. I said it wrong. I know I did. But so they got roughing a punter call. The Bills take the lead against the Pats. They get a punt return for a touchdown. 7 minutes to go. Up 27-23. They allow a kick return for a touchdown. Pats win. Chargers this week. It gets all now comes to this week. They're up 27-26. 34 seconds left. Jalen Phillips has Herbert wrapped up to sack him, and Herbert shakes the sack, completes a 4-yard pass to the left to McConkey, and he runs for 42 yards to set up the game-winning field goal. They were up by one. It's just frustrating because the ugly is just like the Dolphins are just not finishing these games, and they're really like a 500 team that's 1-5 right now, and it's frustrating to watch as a Dolphin fan every week, them blowing the leads.
well, and
Ugly.
then you get the question: is it coaching that's the problem? Because when you're losing close games constantly, You got talent on your team, like Achan's an awesome running back.
He had
I'm
himself a
I
game,
have
by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I have my qualms about Tua before Tyreek Hill went down. I like Waddle. Like they have talent on the team and they're playing close games. They just can't finish them. And a lot of these close games are up. It's not like they're coming from behind either. They have the lead. They look like they're in control. And then something goes wrong. And not that it's all on coaching, but in the end, like if it's like okay, if it's a consistent thing, you wonder is that the problem? And it makes me think that like unfortunately, Mike McDaniel's is probably if this keeps up, I don't think he's back next year.
Yeah, I would say there's two answers. It's either coaching or it's quarterback play. And I lean more towards that. I, I know Dolphin fans will probably hate it, but I think Tua is the main problem. You're very limited what you can do on the offensive side with Tua. So once you get down in the fourth quarter, it's hard for you to come back and win because Tua, it's just he's very limited in what he can do. He's great at what he can do, but what he can't do, he's really bad at. So that's the problem. I think that's the bigger issue more than the Mike McDaniels coaching. I think the fact that Mike McDaniels still has this team playing really hard despite their 1-5 record, that's a testament to coaching. Tua did help get them the lead against the Chargers, to be fair, but it's just like they were, they didn't score at all in the third quarter. Like they couldn't move the ball against the Chargers. Like it's just these things that happen that you're just like, I think Tua is more the problem than Daniels, but yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah, it's not going well.
Okay, let's just give a bonus ugly because we're gonna just talk about the Brian Branch situation against the Chiefs. But there was a couple things that happened that game that you know, I would say are ugly. For instance, the touchdown by Jared Goff that was called off, the pass to Jared Goff for a touchdown. A lot of people are questioning it because he never put his hands underneath the center, but apparently you're supposed to. Like I was listening to Jared Goff talk about it, he's like, "Well, I didn't put my hands underneath the center, and that's the rule." But I guess there's more to the rule, so us and the coaches have to look at the rule more closely. But the big problem with the results of the play wasn't necessarily whether he put his hands under the center or not, was that the flag didn't get thrown until 45 seconds after the play was done, and it was a non-reviewable play. So it's one of those things like it didn't get catched right away, so it probably shouldn't have been brought up. Like it should have been actually maybe controversy the other way, like Jared Goff should have been thrown a penalty. Because if it's not a reviewable play and the refs didn't catch it, like, what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't have been a thing. The second thing was the zero penalties. And then the third thing is the Brian Branch slap, which he got suspended 1 game for, which he deserves. But all three of those things, I think, led up to the ugliness of like the Chiefs game and why everybody's complaining about it.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is I know like the Brian Branch thing. I think there was a play when Patrick Mahomes ran it in. I think he flipped the ball towards Brian Branch celebrating or something like that, which probably annoyed him. And then there was that one with Juju Smith-Schuster that looked like maybe a blindside block. It could have been on the side, but he laid out Brian Branch and then walked over the top of him. Um, I I'm would have been more okay with the reaction of slapping him in the helmet after that play than I would have been at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. So yeah, I didn't know the rule about having to put your hand under the center. So until that play happened, I didn't even know that was a rule, necessarily. So I didn't think about that myself, but yeah, that's the 45 seconds or like the after the play has happened, flags is like it looks bad. It makes it look like to be quite frank, it just makes it look like oh they threw a touchdown against Kansas City, we got to call something. I'm not saying that's what happened because I don't like to believe the NFL is rigged because if NFL is rigged, I can't watch it.
Right.
Um, um, but it doesn't look good. I don't like the fact that the Chiefs had no penalties called against them. Um, they can play a clean game and have one or two penalties, but teams commit penalties every play. Like it just depends on how egregious they are. So I don't like it doesn't sit right with me when a team has zero penalties. Um, Especially when we all know that the Chiefs get some favor. They seem like they do. I mean, so it doesn't help. But yeah, no. But either way, Brian Branch needed to have a much cooler head at the end of the game. Uh, you know what? Just don't walk up to Juju Smith-Schuster. Just walk out. Don't shake hands. Nothing. Just walk out. If you're gonna be upset, that's fine. You know, but going to slap someone in the helmet, with Juju made it look way worse than it actually was. There was some acting on his part. But you can't do that. It's a bad look. And then you have a big game coming up this week, and you might be suspended for it. I don't know if the appeal got reviewed yet or not. I haven't looked at Twitter yet or anything like that. But I know he appealed the suspension, but you have a big game coming up. You can't be missing for it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hit on. I agree with you. I don't even think they should appeal it. I really wish Brian Branch would just take it on the mouth and be like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid," and just take it. I do wonder if they're gonna like go with, "Yeah, I'm not a problem child, so maybe you could just give me this one pass." And he kind of him and Campbell kind of took ownership of like, "Yeah, that is inexcusable." I think he said it was childish, like Brian Branch did. He said it was very childish of me to do. So he recognized how dumb it was. Um, I think that's what they're leaning on. But personally, I wish as a Lions guy, like just take it. Like you deserve it. Whatever. Um, it's supposed to be, we'll find out the results, I think, before Friday, whatever. But you're right, 100%. If he got up and did it right away, you can kind of excuse it more than halfway, I mean, after the game's over. And I still think maybe something was said that probably shouldn't have been said. I still think there might have been some jawing back and forth, but it's still inexcusable. It goes back to your thing. Then hit him right away instead of waiting till the end of the game, right?
Yeah.
The penalty thing, you're absolutely right. It just seems like the refs favor the Chiefs, and it is the what's it called, the vibe people are getting from watching Chiefs games. So whether it was the Jared Goff play or the zero penalties, you can't tell me you don't accidentally get one flag a game or two. Like it's like when teams don't get a flag during a game, it's almost like the refs are purposely not throwing the flag because there's plenty of clips that are being spread, and I hate being this guy, but like there's plenty of clips being spread online. Like they could have called a hole here, 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 whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that it didn't accidentally happen is more concerning to me than the fact that it didn't happen at all, right? Like so. Anyway, so yeah, I mean we're in agreement on all of it.
Yeah, again, yeah, I'm never going to be one that reviews a game and be like, well, yeah, there's pass interference here, this here, but I mean, come on, refs. They could have just thrown two flags, and this whole I would have thought less of it.
Yeah, because I think there was only
They got zero.
four flags against the Lions. Like, and one of
Yeah,
them was that one play. It's like they didn't throw the flag a whole lot, but how like you can't tell me if a team does not commit a penalty throughout the game. That doesn't happen. I promise you, it does not happen.
I barely believe they go a whole play without committing a penalty.
Correct. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, okay. Let's talk about that game. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.